Good morning, Facebook fam, World Wide Web fam, and everybody else out there who's checking this out. Thanks for stopping by and listening to the rants of Zach. It is day ocho on the 90-day challenge, and today I've been pondering all morning what I was going to talk about. Yesterday we talked about my mental focus and how I'm doing this, and you know, there's three others that I want to talk about. Today I'm going to talk about financial. And I can go 12 different directions with this one, but I really want to touch base on a couple things. I want to talk about, and I'm going to try my best not to get on my soapbox. I'm going to try my best not to come across as angry or irate. But I am gonna talk to you guys about some things that I'm passionate about. Number one, my family. Number two, their legacy and their future. And number three, the success of all that. That's something I'm very passionate about. Now, as some of you may know, I work a regular job. And I shouldn't call it a job. It's a career. And I love it. And it helps out a lot. And it's, you know, something I'm very good at. And so I do that. But I also have my own business. I've been having my own business. Not sure if that's English. But anyway, I've had my own business now since 1987 when I turned 18 years old. My mom taught me. And many of you know who know my mom know what an awesome woman she is, how passionate she is about several things in life, including business and God. And my mom is probably my greatest mentor, taught me so many things growing up. You know, instead of getting scolded or in trouble, I used to have to read. I would have to read books by Zig Ziglar or Dale Carnegie, Think and Grow Rich, How to Win Friends and Influence People, you know, Success for Dummies. It just, you know, she taught me how to become who I am, taught me to be a rhino. I do not knock the normal business structure. That's fantastic for a lot of people. And that's the structure a lot of people need. Unfortunately, I'm cut from a different cloth. And my mom taught me that years ago. And some of you may or may not know this, but my mother, who I love with all my heart, was in Amway before I was born. I believe she joined in like 66 or 67. I don't know what 60s have to do when I was born because I'm really not that old. Anyway, but my mom was a full-time school teacher, and when they adopted me, and then a year and a half or so later they had my sister, my mom stopped working and decided to be a stay-home mom. But instead of losing that second income, because my dad was a school teacher, my mom was in Amway and decided to make it a go at it, and she became pretty successful. And my mom did it the old school way. She knocked on doors selling soap, and she made a great living. And as far as I remember, there was never a time in my life that we went without. Matter of fact, we lived in a great house in Hillsborough, New Jersey, which is like in Money Magazine's top 25 places to live. I couldn't live there now. It's just the taxes alone. And even if my mom gave me the house for free, the taxes alone would be more than I could afford or want to. But I love the borough. I love my peeps back home. But my mom made a great living doing this. And she was in what they call multi-level marketing or network marketing, which seems to be such a dirty word. Unfortunately, it's been tainted. There has been some illegal activity or scams in that business. But I'm going to break that down a little bit as part of my soapbox and part of my financial strive or my financial 90-day facelift, and explain to you what and why I love network marketing, multi-level marketing, online marketing, face-to-face marketing, any kind of marketing you can think of. It's something that I enjoy. I'm a salesman at heart. I've been a salesman since I was a little kid. I'm sure if my dad was still alive, he'd tell you I was selling him on it something every single day, whether it was the toy I wanted, sneakers I wanted, whatever it might be. I I sold him the idea of it, and my mom too. So my mom taught me this great concept of network marketing. And she told me, son, when you turn 18, you can't rely on the man to give you a job, because the man may give you a job, but then you're trapped in the 40 by 40 by 40. 40 hours a week for 40% of your pay for 40 years of life, and you get a cute little pin on your lapel when you retire. Yeah, that's not something I'm cut out to be. The cloth I'm cut from does not allow that. Am I saying it's wrong or bad? Heck no. America runs on the 40 by 40 by 40 every day. Okay, so I am an entrepreneur. I love to try new ventures. And sometimes my wife, I think, thinks I have an addiction problem. I'm an MLM addict. But if I see something that really excites me and I can see that there can be an opportunity about it, sometimes I've jumped the gun a little too quickly, and I've learned to tone myself down a little bit. But sometimes I've been successful. There's been more times not successful than successful. But you know what? Statistics show that the average business opening in America lasts less than 5 years because they can't afford it. And the way things are going nowadays with them wanting to raise the minimum wage, businesses are not going to be around. There's only going to be giant conglomerates. You know, I give my hats off to my very good friend who has his own business down in Tampa, and he's very successful. But he'll tell you it's been a struggle, and he works his butt off every day at it. But it's his business, and nobody made his business but him. And if it closes tomorrow, it's his fault. And if he becomes a billionaire, it's his fault. So, you know, that's an amazing thing. But working for someone, I've found that 99% of the people who I've worked for, and I love everybody who I've worked for, I found out that I was working my butt off to make their dreams come true. And I'm tired of it. I want my dreams, my family dreams to come true. I want my kids, as I said, and my grandkids, as I said prior, to look at the picture on the wall of me and my wife, or at me, or at the business I've created, and they're working and going, man, my grandpa was a crazy madman, but he was innovative and he never gave up. And you know what? And I'll do this till the day I die, whether I'm broke, poor, on my deathbed. I'll smile and say, you know what? I busted my hump to get where I am, and I'm proud of what I did because I've been a success on the inside. I wasn't that guy stuck behind a time clock every day for 40 years who's miserable. And some people, as I said, are not miserable, so I'm not busting anybody's bubble or putting that down whatsoever. But I've been miserable. I've had horrible jobs, and I've had fantastic jobs. Nobody has ever once paid me what I'm worth. Hear me when I tell you, nobody will pay you what you're worth. Only you can pay you what you're worth. Look at a rock star. They'll tell you they started off in a garage playing shows where they had to pay to probably play, where they were nothing, and then suddenly it took off and they're in stadiums and they're rocking the world. But they didn't start out. They didn't walk out. John Bon Jovi didn't walk out on stage one day and said, hello, Giant Stadium, and 100,000 people are screaming. No. It took a long time for him to get there. And struggle and success, struggling is the path to success. Look at professional athletes. You know, my friend Ricky Parole, I went to high school with. He plays football or played football professionally. I don't think he just walked onto any football team and said, hey, I'm here. I'm the best wide receiver there is. No. He started out back in the Pee-wees, worked his way up through the Dukes and into high school, and then through college and busted his butt to get drafted into the NFL to make the success that he is. Another one. He chose and set his destiny. He made his own paycheck. He was paid for what he was worth, not because he was punching a time clock for somebody. So that's my goal. That's my financial 90-day facelift. I have several business opportunities that I work with. This is not the platform or the time for me to share them. If you're interested, email me, inbox me. I'll be glad to share them with you. But I love to make sure that not only am I successful, anybody who's with me and around me is successful. Nothing makes me more happy than to see someone, you know, not climb over people up the success ladder, but climb the success ladder with the people helping him up it. And that's what teamwork is. That's what your own business is. So whether you call it network marketing, multi-level marketing, online marketing, It's your own business. You make it what you want to make it. And I wrote this down, and excuse me while I look away for a second because I didn't memorize it. But the bottom line is I've gotten involved in a business or businesses. So I will treat it like a profession, because if I act like a poser or an amateur, I'm going to be a poser or an amateur and I'll be miserable. But if I act and walk and work like a pro, then I'm going to become a pro. So right there, I'm telling you that I am setting myself up for success by taking the steps of struggling and maybe not making that buck or two for a couple of years to make that buck or two. And success to me isn't always about money. Sure, would it be fantastic to make $22,000 a week? I know people who are doing it. Awesome. But that's not what it's all about. Success is becoming happy. When you can look in the mirror and smile at yourself and say, I love you because you're the man I've made you, or you're the woman I've made you, and you are in the image of what I've dreamed you wanted to be, and the success is just coming out that way. That's success. As my wife will attest to, we can live in a mud hut. As long as we're successful in our minds because our children are being brought up right, our family's happy, we're living life the way we're supposed to, that's success. Doesn't mean we're millionaires. No. But I will tell you this much. This is my livelihood. This is my profession. And this is where I get a little angry because people try and bash me and say, oh, multi-level marketing is I get inboxed on this. Oh, another illegal pyramid scheme. You're just another scammer. Let me ask you a question. I went into a store the other day. I bought something. I gave them money. I left. The same store I saw a couple blocks down. Different owner. Same store I saw a couple blocks down. Different owner. That's illegal. No, that's called franchising. Okay? So network marketing, at least the ones that I'm involved in, and like I said, there are some scams out there, just like there's scams in business. But anytime you sell a service or a product and teach someone to do the same and invite them to join you for a nominal fee because your wisdom is worth that, that's called business. That's capitalism. That's not illegal. Now, if I said, hey, man, give me $100 and I'm going to put 500 people underneath you who give you $100 and they're going to make you rich, but there's no product involved, yeah, that's a scam. That's an illegal pyramid. But if I say, hey, I'm selling XYZ product and I think you can sell XYZ product, but I need $99, $40,000, whatever it might be, and you say, sure, I'm on board because I think XYZ product is phenomenal, that's business. Whether you believe in the product or don't see it as a cool product or a true product or a traditional product because I don't have the golden arches in my front yard or I don't have an office, in a professional building, suddenly I'm an illegal business. Come on, wake up. You guys have been brainwashed for far too long. Quit being part of the sheep population and step up and become a rhino. Okay? All right, I'm going to get off my soapbox. I don't want to offend anybody because I'll get my preach on here in a minute and then you guys don't even know what's going to happen. But in all seriousness and joking aside, if a business offers you A, an opportunity to become a great business, B, a product that people want, you may not want it, but people want it, and it's something you believe in, then that's a business. And you're legit, and you're a legitimate owner. And if you pay taxes on it and the government asks you for money, that's a business. Yeah, I pay income tax. Yes, my business that I'm part of is approved by the Attorney General of the United States. So the next time someone tells me it's a scam, understand, I love this one, or a pyramid. Really, when you go to work, do you work for a president, 2 vice presidents, a board, and a bunch of employees? Did you see what I did there? Looks like a pyramid to me. Think about it. All right, enough of that. So how am I building myself better? Well, I've involved myself with some serious mind and web masters. These guys are the best of the best. And, and some of them don't come cheap, and I will say that. But, wisdom isn't always free. But I have friends online that support me and help me and train me and teach me and critique me. And they show me how this business works. And I've set my mindset to grow with them. And you know what? When you're wanting to be a champion or the number one salesman, when I was in the car business and I started at a new car shop, I would find out who was the number one salesman. And I'd get the desk closest to them because I'd want to listen to hear how they're closing, to see what they're doing. Watch, emulate, become their friend. I didn't go outside and drink coffee and smoke and BS about the stories that I didn't do the night before. No, I was mastering the art. And that's why when I was in the car business, there were some dealerships that I was actually ranked number 2 in the nation in sales. Okay? Number 2 in the whole United States. Okay? So that means I think I was doing something right. And I've made a ton of money, and I've not made a ton of money. I've had bad years. I've had great years. It doesn't matter. It all boils down to how do I wake up and smile every day, and how do these people who I've attracted to are helping me. And that's the bottom line, what you need to do. If you want to be financially free, okay, it doesn't mean you have $1 billion in your bank account. No, it just means you're not living paycheck to paycheck and you're not struggling anymore. You know, I live in a nice house. We live in a nice neighborhood. There's never a day that goes by that my kids don't have food. My dogs are always fed. We're never fighting over a scrap of toast, you know, the toaster shakens from Married with Children. You know, everybody has clothes. Everybody has shoes. Everybody has a house over the head. We've got 2 cars. I would say I'm pretty much doing okay. Anytime I want somebody to tell me that, you know, my job is a scam, come on over. I'll show you how much of a scam it is. This is how I make my living. This is how I feed my family. All right? And the choice is up to you. Do you want financial freedom? Do you want to change your future? You have to change your mindset. You have to get out of the mindset of what we were beat in our heads as children. You got to go to high school, got to go to college, got to get a job, work there for 40 years, retire, get the wife, the kids, the picket fence. Doesn't always happen. Because how many times today have you heard people who've been on their job for 20, 25 years, 15 years, whatever it might be, gone. The business went under. They got fired. They got let go. And they got to start from scratch. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I've had it happen myself. I wasn't there for 25 years, but I've had it happen. And really, I just want to emphasize, starting your own business is scary, but find something you believe in and you dream in and go after it. And whether it's working an extra job, working a part-time job, working your own business, whatever it might be, learn to build that financial freedom. Sit down and go through the Dave Ramsey course and set yourself up for success, because he'll teach you that owing someone is not a good thing. The Bible tells us, owe no man anything but love. I think that's wisdom right there. So on that note, like I said, I went all over the place. I do apologize. My ADD gets the best of me sometimes. But I hope you learned something from this. I am focused on building my family through some of my businesses, because here in a couple months, my financial income or the whole area of my finances is going to drastically change. And I'm either going to be a superstar and shine, or we're going to be in a world of hurt, and that's never going to happen. So I can't go into it because it's private right now. We will talk about it later on, but these are things that made me get up and say, you know what? It's time for a change. It's time to become the guy I always preach about. Okay? I do walk the walk and I do talk the talk, but sometimes I walk and talk to push people forward. And, you know, I love making everybody happy and motivating them, getting them to go, but it's time I took care of me, myself, and I. And that's not a conceited thing, and that's not a selfish thing. That's a family thing. All right? So, bottom line, financial freedom, whatever it takes to get there. Your financial freedom may be different from mine. Mine is getting to where I'm not living paycheck to paycheck or working that job, just over broke. No, it's where my family and I are comfortable and we are able to be a blessing to others. All right? I hope this helped you out. Keep checking in, keep tuning in, keep on being the rock stars you guys are. I love you, and I'll see you soon.